So some stuff has happened within the past few days, and we might be getting a city revamp in the next Jailbreak update. Obviously, since most of you guys probably didn't see these changes yet, you might not know what I'm talking about, so just give me a minute to tell you guys what has happened so far. So if you come over to the Jailbreak game page, you guys can see we actually have some new icons, and they look really good. Asimo did an amazing job with these, and honestly, they really fit Jailbreak's new style. But the thing with these new thumbnails is the things in the background. I'll get to those in a little bit, but if we come down here to the description, as you guys can see right here, they say our next update is our winter 2022 update, and it drops mid-December. See you then. So this means the next Jailbreak update is mid-December, so that'll probably be the start of winter break for most of you guys. But anyways, let's get to these thumbnails because these are the big things. So here is the main thumbnail. As you guys can see, it looks pretty normal. We have the little bird, the interrogator, the boxer, some players. But here's where it gets kind of confusing. So as you guys can see in the background, these buildings are not in the Jailbreak city. So let's use this building back here as an example. Let's go over to the city and let's see if it's there. So the photo seems to be taken right about here. So if we come back here, yeah, there is no building here that looks like the one in the photo. And this building over here also isn't red, so the buildings are different in the picture from the actual game, which means there's some sort of difference between the two. So you might be thinking right now, well, alright, that's odd. What about the other pictures? Well, if we bring out the other pictures, as you guys can see, the police HQ in this picture is completely different as well. And then it's also the same with the other picture. As you guys can see, the casino looks much different than it does right now. We have lasers in this room, and we also have money all over it as well. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, well, super, these are just pictures. These probably aren't even in the real game. They're just pictures. Well, there's some things that I want to show you guys. So this first one is about the police HQ picture. So Asimo has said before on Reddit that he doesn't really like the police HQ at the moment. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, well, that's just a useless fact. What does that have to do with anything? Well, if we bring out the picture, now I know this will be really hard to see, but if you look really closely in the background, you can kind of see the orange building beside the police HQ through the windows. I'm talking about this one right here. If you look through the windows, you could literally see the orange part of this building. You could see the stripes right here. You could see the orange and everything. And in the picture, you guys can see a little orange stripe here and a little bit more orange around it. It seems that this orange goes about until here and then it just stops. I'm not sure why. That might be the jewelry store or something, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure where the red building went. That might be removed in this photo, but the orange building is 100% there. Now, with that information there, we might be getting a police HQ revamp in the next update. It's definitely a possibility because it doesn't seem too hard to pull off, and Asimo has also kind of hinted towards it anyway. But with that information, let's go on to the other photo because there are much more things in that photo that might be hinting towards the winter update. So as you guys can see in this photo, I already pointed this out, but we have brand new buildings. As you guys can see, the building at the end of this road by the jewelry store now has more detail to it. There is some changes that have been done to the server control room. And probably the biggest change that I have noticed is the drawbridge has actually been moved, and we can now see it in this photo right here in this corner by the jewelry store. So if I come over here to the city and I go into this position, you guys won't see the drawbridge because it's much farther away in the actual game than in the photo. Look at this. I come over here and even super close to this area, you still don't see it. So here's what I think. I feel like the drawbridge in the background is just the change that was made for the photo. And I think that because they just updated this part of the map earlier this year, so why would they do it again? But I think that pretty much everyone can agree that all of these other buildings do kind of need an update, so a building refresh for some of the buildings in the city would make some sense. And it wouldn't really be a bad idea for an update, so that is also a possibility. We might get some buildings refreshed in the next update. Now that we have this information, I think we might know what the next update is. So let's bring out our notes from the previous video on this topic. So in the last video, we concluded that the cargo plane is probably getting revamped. This is because the cargo plane was added in a winter update, it's 3 years old, and it's also the only robbery that hasn't been revamped yet. So we can definitely cross off floods because that's not happening, and it's 100% a plane revamp, it just has to be. So yeah, we could probably safely get rid of all of this stuff here. It just can't be nukes either, doesn't make sense anymore, they've already done nukes. And yeah, now we're left with a plane revamp and the other stuff that happened in those photos. So let's go ahead and add those on right over here. So yeah, now we have the cargo plane, a slight city update, a police HQ update, and some other polishes, which are the casino changes and those other things which they're probably going to do. And actually, we have another change that's happening, and that's Season 13, which we can add that on right here. Okay, so now we have all of this information. We have to talk about how this will become an update or a live event. But before we do that, I want to cross a few things off because I don't really feel like they're possibilities anymore. And that is the prison revamp and the wood pile on the other side of the map. And also the military base, because the military base was just revamped. So that means we could safely delete all of this over here, and these are probably not going to be possibilities anymore. It just does not make sense for any of those to be in the next update. So the other polishes thing is probably included in one of these updates where they announce one of these. So since the slight city update isn't really that big of a change, they might announce the other polishes with it. I'm not really sure. This has kind of been a new thing they've been doing with the recent updates. They've been adding in new polishes and stuff. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if it's a live event anymore based off the information we've gotten, because I'm not really sure how all of this would connect in a live event. Obviously, we still have that static that Asimo said on Reddit, but I think that's just gonna be how they add some story to the plane getting revamped. Maybe what happens here is they just announce the new cargo plane by saying, oh no, the dude from the live event came back and destroyed our cargo plane. What will we ever do? Well, it's time for a new cargo plane, guys. Wow, 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 wow. Because yeah, I don't really see a connection between a cargo plane and a police HQ. It just doesn't really make sense anymore, you know? So yeah, we could probably cross off live event, maybe put a question mark next to it. It's still a possibility, but chances are it's not gonna happen. It just does not make sense anymore. Anyways, guys, we have also just gotten some new information about the next season, which does make some connections to our notes here. If you come to Asimo's Twitter account, you guys can see right here, he said Season 13's theme will be villains. Eager to see what you may create with this criminal-themed season. So this tweet and season theme kind of confirms that the guy from the live event will be involved in this update in some sort of way. Maybe he's involved in the cargo plane, maybe he's involved in the police HQ revamp. He definitely will be involved either way. There's just no way they would announce Static, then Season 13 being villain themed, and then just not have him be part of the update. It just wouldn't make sense at all. So we can add on to Season 13 right here and say that it is villain themed. There's some sort of villain in this update. And who is the only villain that we know of in Jailbreak? Well, that's the guy from the live event earlier this year. It's the only thing that makes sense, and it's probably who it is. Anyway, just like last video, make sure to take a screenshot of this. Tell me all your theories in the comments, because this update seems like it's going to be really, really big. We might be getting a police HQ, a city update, plane revamp, Season 13, which is villain themed, and a lot of other changes. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much everything we know right now. Honestly, I'm really excited for this update. It seems like it's going to be a really, really big update. Most of Jailbreak's best updates have always happened in the winter, so I'm really excited for this update, and I hope all of you guys are as well. And yeah, hopefully you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.